Hi, I'm Cael McCutcheon here with my dad for 5 minutes outside with Cael, and we're back again.
So you've got a new fresh start. School is started. You're back in the studio doing your weekly 5 minutes outside show, and you've had an interesting summer to say the least. And the week before school started, you went on a big adventure. So let's talk a little bit about that. So tell me first of all what you did last weekend and everything that was involved with it. Where were you at?
We were at Monson, Massachusetts for the Hill Climb Nationals.
Okay. And this is a AMA National Championship race in Monson, Massachusetts, up with the Quabog Riders Association.
Monson Monster Hill Climb.
Yep. And it was definitely a monster. I think we have a picture of some of the stuff that we'll go through, and you can describe it as we go, but talk a little bit about the race, like what you had to do and when you had to be there and everything that went with getting ready to race.
Well, we had to train a bunch, make a good motor.
Yep.
Get lots of help from my sponsors.
Okay. And then when it came time to actually race, what are the steps to that? In case people don't know what hill climb is, tell them a little bit about what it is.
We had to go through a tech inspection where they see if it starts fine and then if the kill switch works.
Okay, and check the whole bike out. And I think we have a picture of you doing tech inspection there with Grandpa McCutcheon and your sisters. Talk a little bit about that day. That was Friday. You had to be there Friday early enough to make tech inspection and get your slot.
That was the rainiest day ever.
It was. We were talking about Monson, Massachusetts. Maybe it should have been Monsoon because it downpoured and it made it really hard to do the tech inspection. So the people up there with the Quabog Riders, they did a fantastic job of keeping everybody dry. They had a big canopy set up, and they checked your bike out, made sure it was safe to race, made sure it was appropriate for the class, and made sure you had all your stuff. And luckily everything was ready to go with your bike, so you were good to go. Let's talk about the next part of it. What do you do after tech inspection? You show up Saturday morning?
And you have to get ready to race for the first run.
Okay, describe what hill climb is in case someone doesn't know what hill climb is, because you've talked before about arena cross, outdoor motocross. Talk a little bit about what hill climb is.
Well, it's a hill with the breakers and see who can get from the bottom to top the fastest.
Okay, so what's a breaker if someone doesn't know what that is?
It's like a jump built into the hill, but you don't jump it.
Some people jump it. I think the bigger bikes would. So a breaker is a stair step, essentially. They're more square edged. And we have a picture of you getting ready to race. Talk a little bit about Saturday morning. You can see in the background it's got some
muddy.
Yeah. So the hill was really sandy, kind of like going to the beach, and you can see back where you start, there's a lot of water in there. Talk a little bit about the challenges that presented for you.
Well, it's hard to get out of the hole. I was spinning for about 5 seconds, and then I took off.
Yep. And then how did you get from the staging area over to your bike? Did you have any help?
Yeah.
So how'd you get there?
Ryan Priest carried me over there.
Yeah, it was so muddy and the sand water mixture was so thick. I was sinking up to my knees, and I carried your bike over, put it in there, and then Ryan Priest, your buddy, helped you out and carried you and set you on your bike so your feet didn't get muddy and we didn't lose you in the mud. So it was challenging. Talk a little bit about the hill itself. We have the next photo. This is actually at a breaker, and you can kind of see it's got a square edge to it, and you got to slow down and take it. Talk a little bit about your technique. You can tell about it.
Well, I kind of do a little scrub over it so I don't go off the ground too far,
Okay. So
but just enough. And on this hill, specifically, it's a lot sandy, so you can't slow down too much. You got to
Right.
keep going or you'll come to a complete stop.
So your goal is to keep your momentum up, but yet not jump as much as possible. Okay. And then talk a little bit about the next photo we have here. You had a very successful day on Sunday. Talk a little bit about Sunday that led to this picture.
Well, I got the fastest time by 2 seconds, and I won the championship on my 65 and got third on my 85.
Okay. And then what are we doing here in this picture? You can see Grandpa's
Tearing it down and checking the gas to see if it's legal.
checking the motor.
Yeah,
Yeah.
or something like that.
Yeah, something like that. I think you were busy celebrating while me and Grandpa tore it down. So So yeah, they have to check the motor out. So the top 3 immediately go into the impound area and get torn down to make sure the motor's legal. And that's Donald Basalt, who is a really good motor builder and was doing the tech inspection. So, and you passed with flying colors. So that's the last hurdle. All right, and then talk about the next part.
That's my 85, and I got 3rd.
Yep. So that was a really good class for you as well.
The first 3 guys were the same second, 17, 17, 17.
Yep. So everybody's really close in that class.
Yep. First 3 guys.
Yep. So, okay, and then that led to the next to last photo here. Tell me a little bit about that. How did you end up overall, and then how did your sisters do? Because they raced as well.
I got 1st and 3rd. 1st on the 65, 3rd on the 85. The girls raced in the mini girls.
Mm-hmm.
And Katie on the far right got 2nd, and then Cael got 5th.
Yep, for their first big race.
Yep, top 5, all of us.
Yep, so everybody got top 5. That made for a really good long drive home, but a really good drive home. And then tell me a little bit about what your favorite part of the race is.
Just playing with my friends.
And then here's four of the fastest guys on the planet, I'd say, for your age.
Yep, Gage Steer, Brock Reif, and Brandon Hager.
Yep, so pretty good group of young men. So your favorite part's getting to hang out and play with your friends?
Yep.
Yeah, I noticed while the race was going on, you and Brandon were over building little tracks in the sand. Yep.
I built a verticross, and he made a good one too.
Nice. Okay. So tell us a little bit about what you got. We know you won the class, so that's you get up there in the award ceremony and you get a big old trophy, which
it's taller than you.
Yeah, and then you also get a number 1 plate. And then tell me a little bit about this award over here.
Well, you can see the AMA mostly, but not the Youth Hill Climber of the Year.
Okay. And
that's for the best young rider.
And you won that award as well, which is pretty special.
Yeah, it was me and Gage Steer who got 1st and 3rd too. We both got 1st and 3rd, but I won by 2 seconds, and he only won by like a couple of tenths of a second.
Okay, so you had a little bit better results and edged him out.
Mm-hmm.
All right, 2 good competitors and great awards. So let's talk a little bit about who helps you get here. Who do you need to thank?
All my sponsors: AXO, Aaron at Domes, Pirelli, Magnum Distributing, Hogwild Creations, Mr. Skids, Roost, McCutcheon Racing, which is Grandpa. He makes all my supercross and motocross tracks, and a hill climb too. Motomom Books, Hot Rods, and Swallowtail Soaps.
Okay. So you get a lot of help there, and that makes it easy to go racing. So, all right. Fun weekend, I assume, since you come away a winner. It makes it really nice. Anything else you'd like to add to it? What was your favorite part out of the whole race weekend? What was the one part you walked away and said, boy, I just really liked it?
Winning. It was a surprise. It was a surprise because I didn't know it was that fast.
Yep, it was a fast
It felt
ride.
slower than it really was.
And so you weren't sure until you get down to the bottom?
Yeah.
All right.
And you were like...
Nice. All right, well, that's our show for this week. 5 Minutes Outside with Cael. You want to do the closing?
Sponsored by A&M Digital Technologies.
Been out of practice. We're back in the groove now. We'll have the show going every Tuesday. 5 Minutes Outside with Cael, and as usual, sponsored by Joe and Cena McDonald here locally with the A&M Digital Technologies. So we'll see you next week, and we'll have more adventures. So thanks for hosting the show, and glad you had good news. All right. Thank you, and we'll see you next week.